usually happens after the announcements is that employees start focusing on the change instead of their work. The rumor mill often starts running overtime too. And as a leader, you will need to watch for and manage the resulting drops in attention to the job and in productivity. That's especially challenging when your role may also be changing. Changes to roles and how tasks are performed can also mean that team members are moving to learning mode. That might be an exciting change for some people, but others may be thrown off balance, and that puts them on edge. Just when you think you've mastered the last reorg or the latest shift in market direction, things shift again. You're once again on the business change merry-go-round. How do you manage the change so you and your team can make it through without falling off? I'm Suzanne Elnagar, executive coach and founder of Vantage Shift. I empower leaders to transform from reactive to strategic, to lead with confidence and clarity, and to amplify their impact. In this video, I'll focus on two types of major changes that my clients are seeing in corporate environment. I'll provide ways for you to not just cope, but to manage the change so you come out on top. First, let's look at restructuring. Restructuring can be a result of leadership changes, a desire to consolidate operations, maybe rationalizing after a merger, an acquisition, or responding to market forces. This type of change can be bewildering and unsettling for the whole organization. Restructuring often involves reconfiguring the organization's hierarchy or modifying how work is done and by whom, or perhaps a combination of both of those things. And this means a lot of shifting around of people, roles and responsibilities, and resources like systems and budgets. Some employees may even find themselves without a role in the new organization. What usually happens after the announcements is that employees start focusing on the change instead of their work. The rumor mill often starts running overtime too. And as a leader, you will need to watch for and manage the resulting drops in attention to the job and in productivity. That's especially challenging when your role may also be changing. Changes to roles and how tasks are performed can also mean that team members are moving to learning mode. That might be an exciting change for some people, but others may be thrown off balance, and that puts them on edge. Customers may be affected by the corporate shuffling too. They may have a change in key contact and have to learn new names and communication styles. There may be some confusion for them as well if the changes aren't communicated clearly and in a timely manner. So what are some steps that you can take to ensure that you keep your team on track? First, support team members who are transitioning. If they're transitioning to a different team, work with them on a plan to hand over key information and important tasks. Documentation helps a lot in this situation. Write it down to pass on to the person taking over. If team members are staying on your team, but the function is changing, provide ample opportunity for training on new systems and processes, including access to knowledgeable experts, and make sure that you make time for answering questions and addressing concerns. Next, focus on customers and delivering the best possible experience for them. Communication with customers should be clear, concise, and above all, proactive. And you should communicate via multiple channels to ensure that they get the information they need. Don't wait for them to call you to figure out whom they're supposed to be dealing with. Ensure that they hear about the change before there's a key meeting or a negotiation. Have outgoing team members introduce the new ones to smooth the transition and make sure that there's a warm handover. Turn down the volume of rumors. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but the way that you can accomplish this is by sharing facts with your team before they start making things up. They're probably hearing a lot of speculation from others in the organization too. Allow your team members to share what they heard so you can set the record straight if necessary. And finally, pay special attention to detail in a reduction in force. This is a topic that probably deserves its own video. I get it. There's a lot to be talked about here, but in short, the major points to remember if you have team members who are affected is to work closely with HR, understand the finer points of what's offered to the exiting employees, and be empathetic. Your HR business partner can advise you on what you can and can't say and how to answer the questions that typically come up during those conversations. Now let's look at another common business challenge: technology transformation. Companies change systems, processes, and ways of working. A very prominent type of transformation taking place right now is the adoption of AI into corporate work. Typically, the goal for the new technologies is to improve efficiency and save money. Often there's a desire to meet customer expectations. They usually want to know that they're working with the most up-to-date vendors. There may also be a desire to create a competitive advantage. Organizations experiencing a technology transformation often have to rethink data security and IP protection. There are sometimes ethical concerns, like in the case of AI, about attributing the resulting work product. Workflows can be disrupted as the organization undergoes the transformation and people haven't all been trained yet or switched over to the new processes. Another problem that an organization may face during a technology transformation is a decline in productivity. That's usually temporary until the switchover is completed, as employees learn the new processes and workflows and the changes become routine. But that is something that you should monitor as a leader to ensure that the slowdown doesn't become an accepted way of working. What are some ways that you can help keep your team functioning at their normal great level? Define clear goals. Make sure everyone knows what's happening, what's expected of them, and their precise role in the new way of working. When people are uncertain, they make stuff up. You can keep your team on the right track by sharing information that they need to do their jobs well in the new way of working. Agree and document what you'd like them to accomplish and revisit the goals regularly. Provide support resources. Ensure that your team members have access to the training they need, as well as experts who can help them when they have questions. You can proactively schedule team trainings and Q&A sessions and make written instructions and manuals available to your team. Make yourself available too to answer questions and provide encouragement as they learn. Identify change champions. These people can help you evangelize, explain, and provide support to the employees on the learning curve. It's usually not enough to just explain what's changing and why. People often need to know that there's someone who's walked that path successfully and can help them along. Change champions can be the ones to encourage others to learn and see the benefits of the change. Address concerns promptly and directly. No matter how well you explain what's happening and how clear you are in what team members need to learn and do differently, there will always be at least one or two employees who need a little extra convincing. Don't ignore or dismiss their concerns. Let them talk about what's on their minds so you can respond appropriately. This will ensure that team members are getting the right information from a trusted source, you. Organizations undergo a lot of changes as you encounter them. Keeping these strategies to manage change in mind will help your team members to focus and perform well, and you to be the great leader you are. A special note for those who have been personally affected by major corporate shifts. If you've been affected by a layoff, I highly recommend that you book a discovery call to find out how I can help you become job search ready. My popular program will help you stay confident in your skills and experience, learn how to tell the stories that people need to hear about you during interviews and while networking, and to present yourself as the best candidate for the future role that you desire. I'm Suzanne Elnagar, helping you to lead with confidence and clarity so you and your team can thrive.